Us now, former congressional candidate and founder of the organization Vote Mama, Liuba Grechen Shirley. Thank you so much for being here with us. Now, we are seeing women take commanding roles in the fight against COVID-19. So why do you think it's so important to really be able to highlight that?
It's been women who've been the most affected by this pandemic. We've had more than 2 million women leave the workforce over the last year because of things like the lack of childcare and women now having to stay home and do virtual school and make sure that they're taking care of their children. So women have been the most affected, and mostly women of color. Black and brown women have been the most affected by this pandemic. And it really has been women legislators who have been the most vocal in trying to actually address these inequities and these issues that are affecting women because of this pandemic.
Well, you touched on some of the struggles I was about to bring up. For instance, a new survey highlights the financial toll the pandemic is taking on women specifically. The Institute for Women's Policy Research found that about 1 in 4 women say their families are worse off financially than they were a year ago. And nearly 30% of Latinos report that their families' finances are worse. So what's being done to help those families recover? What should be done? And what might the long-term impact of this pandemic be on so many women?
What's being done right now is that the House just passed the American Rescue Plan. We need the Senate to pass it now. It is critical legislation that will invest in the childcare industry. We'll invest $40 billion in the childcare industry to stabilize that industry. You look back at what happened last year with the original HEROES Act, we invested over $60 billion in the airline industry and just under $4 billion in childcare. The childcare industry was on the brink before the pandemic. There have been decades of underinvestment in the childcare industry so that women have been kept out of the workforce. And this has been, in the last year, we have seen really what women have been going through in particular, because women are more likely to be the caregivers. But this pandemic has only exacerbated the childcare crisis. It has not caused this. We are the only country in the world other than Papua New Guinea without paid family leave. It is more expensive to send our infants to childcare than it is to send our teenagers to college. These are problems that have always existed. We're now just seeing this more because of the pandemic. And it's really been the women in Congress and at all levels of government who have been fighting this.